Young Drunk!
Good evening, sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation.
Wah, wah, wah.
Happy Valentine's Day, and thank you for tuning in to one of the longest-running culture and comic book comic book podcasts in the world. I can talk, I promise.
Also, hell with Valentine's Day. It's my son's birthday.
This is true.
Kai, happy birthday, baby boy.
Now everyone knows when his birthday is.
Yeah, it's today.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Everyone send presents. Continue. You're doing great.
Woo! CultPop Podcast Live episode, lucky number 113. So if you're new here, this is a place where we talk about comics, movies, TV, games, romantic murders, just the romantic kind.
Yeah.
The shiny skin of a killer, and all the other things that scratch your nerdy and vamp. Oh my God, he's so excited.
I am.
Nerdy
If you
itch.
can cough into the mic next time,
Yeah,
that'd probably
please.
be better. Go.
Tonight we are coming at you live,
live?
from we're doing great, guys.
I thought this was the quick dry run, but we're good. Let's go.
Yeah.
No, it's what just Dylan told me, so I wouldn't get stage fright. Tonight we're broadcasting at you live from Young Junk HQ, a bomb-ass podcast studio right here in Philadelphia.
Young Junk.
Nice. Well, that's usually my part. I am, as you might have noticed, not JD. I'm your special host this evening, Alice. And joining me on this journey through Forks, Washington, we have JD of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street,
Philadelphia, PA.
a super rad comic shop that caters to nerdy and nerd-adjacent individuals of all shapes, sizes, and genders.
Sorry.
Also here tonight is someone previously unfamiliar with the dramas of the House Cullen. I was super excited to get him to watch this.
Yeah, it's me.
This is me. Noel.
It's me. I didn't know anything about this other than everyone's hate for it. So I'm very excited.
And
Very
my
ex-
love for it.
Very excited. Very excited.
Another special guest we have here
Very
tonight is
excited.
my 10th grade book report.
Woo! That's what I'm excited about, actually. Your penmanship.
My handwriting was pretty solid.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that shit.
Wow.
14 and
Right?
a half,
That is.
It doesn't look like this anymore.
Oh.
I was 15. I was 15 when I wrote
Yeah,
that.
now it's
It's just chicken scratch.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Now it's professional.
No, it's real bad. So in our booth tonight is our expert producer, Dylan.
What up?
Dylan, if anyone that's watching or listening wants to know how they can make a podcast with you, how can they inquire about that?
Inquire by looking no further than the bottom of your screen right the heck now, and you'll find my email, dylan@youngjunk.com. Ooh, nice shirt, JD.
Thank you.
Anyway, send me an email. Tell me how much
shirt.
you love Prince. I like your shirt too.
They're both shiny.
Yeah.
Forever.
But yeah. And if you want to start a podcast, maybe a podcast about Prince and Prince t-shirts, that'd be cool.
Put that in your pocket. I would love to do like a discography podcast of Prince.
Yeah, hell yeah. Do it.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Do it.
Anyway.
I'll be here every step of the way.
For free. Anyway. Sorry.
So tonight is the premiere of a romantic ongoing series wherein we will delve deep into each installment of the film series that will never die, the Twilight Saga. Dedication to Sparkle Motion, a CultPop Twilight Saga event.
Oh, sick.
Guess whose idea this was?
Yeah. Mine.
It was like a dare. It was like a happy dare.
I bribed them with this, with my book report.
You know what? I admit, like, I was never toxic about it, but I do admit never having a desire to watch these movies. But,
valid.
you know, being older than
Dirt.
not being a 25-year-old edgelord, I was like, yeah,
Why not?
they're popular for a reason. Let me just go see what
Let's
the
get
hell
into
that's
it.
about.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to talk about these.
Good,
But anyway.
because I'm not chill about it.
All of our energies are going to like a zipper. You're gonna go higher. We're gonna probably end up naturally going lower to try and meet it and just like fit
Zip,
in.
zip.
Because if we're all hype, it's just gonna be like at 11 and noise.
Yep,
Right?
that's what I'm shooting for.
Yep.
Let's go.
So you're gonna go so hard. I'm probably just gonna sit here comatose.
No. All right. Before we dive into that fun, we align ourselves with Jacob or Edward. We wanted
Or
to
Charlie.
or Charlie. You know what? I am more Team Charlie.
I meant to make a T-shirt that said Team Charlie, and I just ran out of time.
You know what? We have 4 more movies.
That's
to get
true.
through.
There's still
You
time.
just blew your load. That's such a good joke. Hopefully everyone forgets. Yeah.
Guys, everyone forget that I just blew my load. Not a single load was blown.
None. Not a one.
Was that?
But
poppin'
before
or
this-
stoppin'? What?
We wanted to talk about the perfect date movie for gory sickos like us, and it's in theaters now. Hard Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And just a gentle reminder before we get started, if you're here live, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, or hit the bell icon. And if you're watching later, do all those things too. And we love a little back and forth, so pipe up in the chat or send us emails at cultpopgo.gmail.com. And speaking of email,
We got letters.
We have letter?
Oh, we have lots and lots and lots and lots of
We're
letters.
just mouthing it that
I
time.
was, because you threatened to stop singing last week.
Oh.
And I remembered.
This is called CultPop 112. Oh, he's in the chat. Hey, gang, in honor of Royal Rumble,
Oh, I know.
which honestly to me was,
I know I'm not going to say it.
I'm reading.
Sorry.
Hey, gang, in honor of Royal Rumble, which honestly to me was super boring, what celebrities, actors, comedians, or singers would you put in a battle royale? No actual fighters allowed. The Royal Rumble had a roster of 30, so I'll give my 15, and you can each give 5 or less if Dylan wants to join in. Now, he broke it up into 15 men and 15 women. We're each going to give 5. No gender rules, I don't think. I've got a little bit of both.
Yeah, so it's not a 25-minute segment. We're just going to do 5 each and just all gender.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through his men: Patton Oswalt, Alan Richson, Bill Burr, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Christian Kane. Christian Kane, is that the guy from Angel? Anyway.
No, I think that's a... Yes. Oh, wow, yeah.
It's the guy
The guy with the long hair. Yeah.
Aldous Hodge, Darius Rucker, Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Shaq. Macaulay, yeah. Of all the Culkins, why not? You know what? He'll fuck you up with a paint
Kieran
can.
is wiry as shit, though. Like, he would just, like, get around. Yeah.
Shaq, Tony Hawk, Shaun White, Michael Phelps, and Peyton Manning.
That is quite the spread.
You know what? I'm actually going to go through the women, too. Gwendolyn Christie, Kristen Bell, Eliza Dushku, Gina Torres, Serena Williams, Drea DeMatteo, Allison Janney, my favorite. Allison
good one.
Janie, Allison Janney. Wendy Malick, Jane Kasmarek?
That's from 30 Rock.
Kate Siegel, Maggie Wheeler, Aisha Taylor, Gabrielle Union, Kelly Clarkson, Reba.
Gabby Union.
Reba.
Just she does not need a surname.
Yeah.
She is but Reba.
Reba. All right, so I've got my 5. Do you have your 5?
Yeah.
I got
Does everyone-
two
I
so
can come
far.
up with 5.
I'll figure it out by the end. Yeah.
Okay, Dylan, were you going to do 5?
I got some I can throw in. Yeah.
All right, give it. Well, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go.
Chris Angel.
I
don't know.
Yeah, wait.
You know what?
CRISS Angel? Yeah.
Yeah, like the Chris. Is there a different Chris Angel?
Yeah, but I just love how his name is spelled. I think
The
we had to
Chris
get it
Angel.
out. The Chris Angel.
The Mind Freak.
The mind freak.
Chris Mind Freak Angel.
Yeah.
So far, he wins. This
Yeah.
is great. Keep going.
Oh, I'm rapid fire.
Rapid fire, baby.
Oh man, I didn't. I was gonna think of them as I went along.
That's
but,
why I asked if you were ready.
Oh well.
No,
I
give
lied.
one.
All right, I'm ready. Oh, you want to go all of them? Or
We're just going to do it one at a time.
Okay.
That's more
Kiefer
fun.
Sutherland from 2004.
Oh, we can pick time dates? Sure. Nice. Kiefer Sutherland,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron. For me. Dylan.
Scott Stapp.
Next.
I'm going to go with the Amazing Jonathan to take on Chris Angel. Does anybody know who the Amazing Jonathan is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
He could take Chris Angel.
For sure.
Yeah.
Next.
David Blaine.
Michelle.
Gotta throw him in there now.
Just sleepily stand there and wait for everyone to just beat each other up.
In like a tank of water.
You know what? I see yours and I raise you Job.
Fictional character. Fictional character.
Right. It's an illusion, Michael. Tricks are something to hoard us for money or candy. My other one is Michelle Yao. Next.
I'm gonna go.
Costa's in there saying Michelle Obama. Shit, that's a good one.
Good one.
Nathan Fielder
Who's that?
Oh, wow.
from Nathan from You.
You don't
Oh,
want,
yeah. Yeah, I know that guy.
You just want to see him get beat up?
No, I think he would. He'd come up with a plan.
Next.
I'm going to go with Michelle Rodriguez
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
as like a real choice.
Yeah, she would wreck shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wouldn't quit.
Next.
Ashley Green. I'm
Nice.
staying on
nice.
theme tonight.
She can throw a mean fastball. Mm-hmm. As long as there's lightning and thunder happening.
Yeah, it's that thunder crack.
Jason Momoa,
Oh, yeah, okay.
right?
He's like he's a legit rock climber and
Like,
shit too. He's good.
He'll do some stuff. He'll do a thing. Dylan. We're
Ben
slowing it down.
Stiller.
Get out. Okay.
I don't know.
Dodgeball Ben
Those
Stiller?
ears. He'll just block you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my favorite Chris.
Oh.
Hemsworth.
Oh, he's a good Chris.
He's a good Chris.
Does Walken count? Because he might be my favorite Chris.
Well,
Steve
if we're talking
Buscemi.
about Steve Buscemi,
Oh, nice.
we're talking about all Chris's ever.
I mean, is your favorite Chris?
No,
just mean
the
of
moniker. My favorite Chris is the Chris's.
Those three
the
Chris's.
MCU Chris's.
Yeah.
4.
4 Chris's?
It's Pine, Evans, Pratt, and Hemsworth.
Oh.
Yeah, Chris Pine.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
My actually, I didn't read this ahead of time. We have the same one, Christopher and I, Gwendolyn Christie.
Solid.
She just showed up in oh God, what's that show? Severance. That was a nice surprise. Yeah.
Nice.
Great role.
I don't have a 5th yet.
I know.
Dylan.
I think the 5th.
All right. This is my 5th.
Manifest
Yeah.
a 5th.
My 5th and final fighter will be.
Sir Christopher Lee, says Costa.
We can't take them from the chat. That would be mean, but that's a good hit.
Sam says Stifler. You know what? Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
I've got my 5th one.
Good.
I don't have it.
Axl Rose.
Ooh.
Oh.
He's windy and he's weird.
Scrappy.
Did you ever hear that song that they did that had just like had the N-word in it a lot?
No,
Yeah.
he's still a good fighter.
I'm just saying. I was disappointed. I mean, I wasn't surprised, I guess.
How old is it?
It was like before they were famous. Yeah. Who do you got? You got somebody?
I did know. Oh, Miranda Otto.
Who's that?
Oh, cool.
She's
Eowyn.
Eowyn in Lord of the Rings.
I am no man.
Yes.
man.
I am Noman. Newman. Hello, no man. Sorry. I got flustered and I couldn't think of another one, so I said Tom Cruise, just because he
that
does
would be
all his own
perfect.
stunts.
That's a good one.
Honestly, I should have taken Tom Cruise instead of Chris Hemsworth.
Right?
Even though Chris Hemsworth can do a bunch of shit.
He'd win.
Yeah,
He might
Tom-
win. He's
Tom
crazy
Cruise would
enough.
get in there for real.
He's crazy enough.
He would literally run, like sprint each side of the ring until everyone's just done and then jump in. It's like full bolt.
Thank you, Costa. Oh, Sam says Keanu. That's a good one too.
Oh, was the excellent choice to Keanu?
I think the excellent choice might be to Miranda Otto because Costa might have a little crush on her.
Oh,
I think everyone has a little
crushy
crush on
poo.
her.
So do
Dylan,
I.
did you find a fifth one?
No, I keep blanking.
Chad Kroger.
Sure, yeah, I'll choose.
All right,
Jack.
Chad
Look
Kroger.
at this photograph.
Yeah.
All right.
Him and
So-
Scott Stapp can.
Thank you so
Chad
much
Stapp.
to Christopher saying Saucy Goodnight. I hope you appreciated our Royal Rumble picks. Let us know what you think. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. That portion of the segment of the show is done.
I was right. Costa was talking about Miranda Otto.
Why can't you just back me up, Costa? Come on.
All right. So now we're going to get into our review. Before we talk about Twilight, Hard Eyes, which came out this year, 2025, which has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It was written by Philip Murphy, Christopher Landon, and Michael Kennedy. Directed by Josh Rubin, who I'm a huge fan of.
The Josh Rubin.
The Josh Rubin that I know just from nonsense, but he's also an acclaimed director. And it stars Olivia Holt, Mason Gooding, Devin Sawa, which was really fun to see.
Yeah, I
Hey,
was
Devin
so happy to
Sawa.
see the Sawa.
Gigi
I saw him.
Zambato, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah,
I also
best
don't
friend.
have my glasses on. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, she was great. And Jordana Brewster. And this movie is about a masked maniac with glowing red eyes, shaped like hearts, if you didn't guess by the title. Every Valentine Day, returns every Valentine's Day to terrorize unsuspecting couples. Nailed it.
All
I can't
right.
read.
So, Noel,
Yeah.
did you see this movie?
Yeah.
Cool.
Baby. We had these planned. We had these shows planned out for like these big cult pop culture events, like Mission Impossible and Twilight and stuff. But the last 2 weeks, two very, very cool looking movies up our alleys came out. So we wanted to squeeze in these like real time reviews, and I'm really glad we did.
Yeah?
Because not only was Companion last week just a banger,
Oh, come on.
I think I loved this movie.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think I loved
This movie was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It is so specific.
Yes.
Like crazy specific. But to me, specificity breeds kind of familiarity, and that's a weapon. It's not parody, but it's also not self-serious. It's both. And it really fucking works.
It's kind of my favorite sort of horror movie, slasher movie, is one that is not taking itself too seriously, but is not so over the top goofy, you know?
There's a version of this though that could have gone PG-13 and would not work.
Yeah,
Right.
At
for
all.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
I
think
was nervous it was going to be.
the fact
but it
that they
was
went full slasher
Yes.
in every way, shape, and form
Yeah.
made the joke uncomfortable, which really made the horror part work for me.
Yeah.
And it's something that Josh Rubin did with his last movie that I don't think worked, which was Werewolves Within.
Oh, I haven't
never
seen
saw.
that one yet.
Very, very similar. Very funny people doing silly things, and then it just explodes into full gore and very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have this balance, and it's not, to me, it wasn't as like effective. By the end of that movie, by the end of Werewolves Within, you're just like, yeah, I know it's that person. Okay. With this one, it was just like, I don't even care. I like these two people.
Yeah.
I like this craziness. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
What'd you think about Scare Me?
I didn't see it.
I saw that was an accident that I came across on Shudder, I think, just because I am a big fan of Aya Cash from The Boys, and it's just him and her in a cabin telling each other scary stories because they're snowed in and they can't really leave. So they're like, well, let's just hang out and tell each other spooky stories, and then it just sort of goes from there. So I didn't know anything about Heart Eyes going in. I didn't see a trailer. All I saw was the poster, which is a nice, pretty simple looking little job. So I had no idea who wrote, directed it, who's in the movie, all this other what have you. And so I wasn't sure what this movie was trying to be, and I wasn't sure the movie knew what it was trying to be as it started, or as because we went in a little late. Yeah.
Late.
Well,
What'd you miss?
what we missed was the cold open.
Not all of
We
it.
came
Not
in
all
at
of
the
it.
end. We came in at,
a little before that.
right?
Oh, it's so good.
She's in the thing, and then
Oh, it was so good because it's like terrible, very obvious.
sorry for the claps, Dylan.
It's terrible, very obvious rom-com song. I think it was like Goo Goo Dolls or something.
Sure.
They're framed up in this beautiful thing that she planned. She's a bit of a bridezilla. He puts the ring in her food, and she's like, I told you not to put it in my food. I told you not to put it in my food. Like, it was very, very excessive.
Yeah.
And then when he proposes, he gets a phone call. I'm not spoiling it. This is the first 3 minutes of the movie. He gets a phone call, and he's like, why the fuck are you calling me? And it's the photographer he has hidden. He's like, yo, I didn't get it. If you guys can maybe redo it. And then it's this whole like comedic thing of two terrible people being terrible at each other, and then all of a sudden the photographer gets killed and the chase starts.
Gotcha.
It was such a weird palate cleanser of a start where it's like every single romantic comedy trope of two stupid people, and then it was just smacked in the face by a slasher, and it was incredibly gory.
Yeah, JD
It is
ran
really
back.
good tone hitter. Like,
So it was really so we all went together, me and Alice and Costa, and we were waiting for the pretzels to get done at the concessions. They were making me fresh pretzels, and they were waiting for me. And I'm like, guys, the movie is probably started. Let's go watch it. And they refused to leave my side, which was lovely. And eventually, I was like,
We wanted pretzels.
They wanted my pretzel. I went and I ran quickly just to see if it was open or if the trailers were still going. And what I saw was and I'm like, get in there. The movie, people are dying.
Yeah, he comes running out in the theater.
Yeah.
Into the lobby, goes, people are getting murdered. Let's go. And I'm like,
That's right.
I was like, okay, we'll be there in a minute.
I'm so sad you guys missed it because it set the tone.
There
of
it
the
is.
whole two
So,
fucking hours,
when
or hour and a half.
When we got in, it was like the chase scene and then the smush. And then we were introduced to the main character and everything. So we did miss that entire beginning that kind of sets the stage, right?
It was
that gives you what the vibe
I forget
is.
the song, but it like even the the studio labels come up with like and with arms wide open.
Yeah,
like it's very, very specific and it's really, really funny.
So anyway, as soon as there's a scene where the director Josh Groban.
Somebody call 911.
Josh Groban. He shows up.
Josh Groban.
And I was like, oh, he's okay. Now I get the vibe because just from seeing that guy, this is very much his vibe.
Yeah.
Better yet, the writers, Christopher Landon and Michael Kennedy, Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day to you.
We were
It's a
talking about that
Wonderful
on the drive
Knife.
home.
Like
Yeah.
they take genres
They
and
did
they
It's a
smack them
Wonderful Knife?
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael
Yeah.
Kennedy wrote and directed It's a Wonderful Knife.
I didn't know that.
I wish I liked It's a Wonderful Knife.
I wish I liked Happy Death Day
I
to
love
you better.
Death Day. Yeah, Happy Death Day to you. Yes, and itself
didn't-
too much.
I didn't see that one. I saw
Yeah.
the first one really late.
Happy Death Day,
Fun.
perfection.
Did they do?
I love that
Killer?
movie.
Harsh. I mean, it's really, really good. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far, but it's really, really strong.
It's so
Like,
good.
I wish it was. I wish that was R. It's PG-13, and
is it?
it's stunted as shit. Every time something like slashery happens,
Yeah.
it pulls itself back, and you're like, oh.
Oh, I think it still works. Anywho,
Did
so,
they do Totally
yeah.
Killer also?
The other
No.
one, the one with
No.
No,
Okay.
that wasn't them.
Okay.
Reminded me of.
Anywhomst. So all that is to say, this was really fun.
Yes. Yes.
I wasn't
very
done
much.
my thing.
Oh. Well,
But yeah, you go.
You sounded like you were rapping down.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Good.
I had a great time.
Awesome. I do want to see the beginning again.
Yeah, me too.
Since we
Yeah, this movie was rad. It was really rad. And there's like such obvious shit in it, but it's like so
It's
fun.
still so entertaining. It's
Yeah.
still. I want more movies like this where it's slasher holiday movies that shouldn't work, but it does.
Chekhov's metal straw.
How do you
Yeah.
guys? Oh yeah. How do you guys feel about romantic comedies?
Oh, I love them.
I also love them,
So,
but
yeah.
they're so weird.
They're good comfort watches. Like,
I find that more often
Formulated.
than not, romantic comedies are the characters engage in things that if people did it in real life, they
Yeah.
would get arrested,
Oh, 100%.
or they would be
Which
like,
I think this movie played with too. The
Yes.
fact that he was doing all these things that are like, bro,
yeah.
no.
Well, what
Like-
I really like about I think my favorite part of this movie is that they take two people. So Hard Eyes kills couples, and that's kind of all you know is that he murders couples,
in
and he's been doing
different
it for years.
cities
Yeah.
throughout the U.S. Yeah,
Yeah, he's been doing
he
it for a
never
while.
strikes in the same city twice.
Yeah.
So that's why they haven't found him for 2 years.
But this couple is not a couple.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like they kind of hate each other at first. Like it's a meet cute, and then they go on a date, but they kind of hate each other at the end of the date. But then they wind up in this situation together and start to like appreciate each other more and more as the movie rolls on. And I like that. It wasn't just you're with a couple, we're being chased.
Yeah.
I like the sort of the dichotomy of that.
Yeah, I loved the bits whenever like they were being chased and they'd be like, "We're not a couple! Like,
Yeah, yeah,
stop chasing us! Like,
And the
we're not
movie-
even dating. It's not a thing." And like, it
The
was
movie
very funny.
does take its opportunities to completely stop to do a romantic comedy trope. Like they are in the middle of a chase and they're hidden, and then they have a very, very normal or routine romantic comedy conversation with each other, and you hear noises in the background, or like they, their hands touch, but it's not because they're both reaching for a handle. It's because they're both pulling like a tire iron out of somebody's face as a
So
weapon.
good.
Like
So
there's
good.
these little like very specific inside joke tonal moments that just make the movie
Feels a little
great.
bit like Hot Fuzz,
very
right?
which a lot of people didn't feel at the time too, because they're like, it's a comedy, and all of a sudden it's an incredibly aggressive
Action film.
movie.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Almost like an action thriller.
yeah.
That
This
ended
mo-
that movie. Yeah.
I personally highly recommend it.
I recommend it as well.
Yeah.
I would actually go so far as to say we were talking about other holiday themed slashers, which brought us immediately back to Thanksgiving from last year. I wish Thanksgiving was as charming and or kind of irreverent as this is.
Is
Yeah.
Thanksgiving PG-13 or R?
No, it's R.
It's R. Okay,
I didn't
that's
want to
what
bring this up because I know you guys like Thanksgiving a lot more than me, but my first thought was like, I wish Thanksgiving was like this.
Yes.
I
Yes.
wish Thanksgiving was, and honestly, I don't think Eli Roth has that mode.
Yeah.
He's very self-serious. Like he does camp, but he does it seriously as camp without having like that extra layer of, I know what a joke is,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna like play with the joke and take my time over here.
See, I
Whereas
don't know.
Josh
I
Rubin,
think Cabin Fever was hilarious.
yeah, and he hasn't touched
Since?
that
Yeah,
since.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, Cabin Fever was hilarious, but it was also wildly lecherous. So maybe he's only
Gotcha.
able to do that.
I see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we all recommend Heart Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Companion and Hard Eyes. You have nothing but options for genre lovers on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving too.
Yeah.
Watch it whenever you want. Watch it all year round.
I wish
right.
we, you know what we should.
So wait,
come
was
up
it
with-
was it poppin' or was it sloppin'?
It was a sloppy pop.
It was a sloppy pop.
Ew.
I mean, the end was
Was
pretty
the
sloppy.
poppy.
So satisfying.
Yeah, it was.
So satisfying.
Also, Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw was
satisfying.
funny.
All right.
All right.
Next.
It's time.
We should come up with for these reviews like.
Stop.
Wait, hold on to
delaying
it. Hold on
my
to
moment.
It. Hold on to it. Hold on.
Stop edging.
No, hold on to
Alice,
it. Hold on to it.
please.
Hold on to it. Hold on to it. I
got angry
was
arms
just,
now.
I was just gonna say we should come up with an actual like rating system for just normal reviews. We never came up with one.
I tried, and you.
It's whatever
I
level
tried-
my arms are at.
I mean
I
numbers.
tried to get them to do poppin' or sloppin'. Is the
No.
movie poppin' or sloppin'?
Can you
And they refused to do it.
Can
Hold
I
on.
explain
I don't
why
think
we
that's
were
a rating,
anti
that's
that
a
idea?
binary.
Sure.
The circumstances in which you said that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember.
Because I don't
You
remember
left.
things.
To go to the bathroom.
It's a popping or slopping.
And then, no context, he pops his head back in and goes,
Poppin' or sloppin'.
pop it or slop it. And we're like,
And then I ran back to the
What?
bathroom.
I was talking about like
I forgot about that.
1 to 5 type rating,
I
not
see.
not a binary sucks doesn't suck kind of.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
Dylan, come up with that for us. Come up for it. Come up.
Christopher St. Salsa
with that.
Goodnight is asking if we have any love for Love Hurts. Haven't
What's
seen
Love
it.
Hurts?
Didn't get a chance to see it yet. Love her. It's the movie with Ki-Wei Kwan.
Oh, I saw the trailer for that. I'm not 100% on it.
I mean-
I like him, but I don't know if
I buy him as an action guy.
Yeah.
I just don't know if
the movie
I'll see it
around him.
eventually.
I'll
Yeah.
try it out.
I'll
for
see it
sure.
eventually.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
Alice. Dylan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm going to explode.
And when she
all right.
explodes, glitter.
Glitter everywhere.
All right, go.
All right. I'd like to invite you all to 2008. Little 15-year-old Alice was given a summer reading project.
What song was playing?
Probably 2008. I was really into All American Rejects in 2008, so I was probably listening to them on my iPod while I was reading the book list of options that I could read for my summer reading project, and I came across a book that said it had to do with vampires. And I have always loved vampires, if I haven't made that apparent enough. And so I went out and I bought this exact book. This is my book from 2008.
Smells like 2008.
Vampires
does.
of all sizes, little ones, the littlest
I do
ones,
love the little
The
vampires.
littlest vampires.
We're lucky we're not doing a little
as well
vampire
as
segment.
the dankiest ones, which would be Nosferatu.
And I
Nosferatu Tui.
Nosferatu was so good. I devoured this book in 3 days,
Yeah?
and I wrote this.
Should I just read it out loud to everyone?
Yeah, that's actually what we're doing, guys.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get shut down by YouTube.
No, I think if it's in our own voice, we're fine. Just
Is
don't
it?
put the text up. I think
Nice.
so.
And then I wrote this A+ paper on it.
A++.
And then
I
started
heard
my journey of being a Twihard fan.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Twihard.
Twihard?
It's not great. I tried to work that into like our segment title. I was trying to, and I was like, no, it just all sounds bad.
I just feel like there could be a better one.
Workshop it.
and it
Ah,
just
Like popping or slopping.
Yeah.
that same year in November, the first Twilight movie was coming out, and the last Twilight book came out that year too. So it was a big year for me.
So wait, hold on. So
And
what
I
is
have-
this?
2008.
2008.
Right.
We're gonna do it later.
Oh, we're gonna get to it. I want to make sure we're gonna get to the.
We're
okay.
getting to it. I
right.
brought it. I promise.
Book report for every
I'm
movie.
edging myself
No.
now. Go ahead.
Can you do a book report for every
I
movie?
can. In this, I will answer. So this isn't really a book report. It's like they asked me long form questions,
That's a book report.
and
book report.
I know, but it wasn't like
Is it?
You
is
didn't
it
write
one of
an
those things
essay
where like
about
we
it,
just want to
but
make sure you read it?
yeah.
Book reports are just like questionnaires. You're talking about like an essay. Tell us in your
Yeah.
own words what this means.
Yes.
Just like a book report.
Yeah.
I would love it if you did a book report. For
I
every-
will answer all these
everyone.
questions
Yeah,
for the rest
please,
of the movies.
Please.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So that year, I also went to go see this movie twice in the same day. In 2008.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was bad. I snuck in to see it again. I didn't pay to see it. It
Ooh,
was
nice.
really bad.
That a girl.
Have you ever done that?
Have I ever snuck into a movie?
No. Two on
Oh.
the same day.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
You're so excited.
Yes.
Batman 89.
Oh, nice one.
Oh, I don't think I was old enough to afford my own tickets, and I had to my mom drove me around for that, so I don't think I got to see that twice in one day. I did see it, I want to say at least 6 times in the theaters, but not on the same day. I want to say that we did like X2, and then immediately just went to the next X2.
I pre-purchased tickets for Phantom Menace twice in the same
Nice,
day. And you know, if you didn't like it in the morning, you still had a ticket you bought, so you went at 4 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So Twilight, the movie, 2008, has a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. I would give it a much higher rating. I understand why it's at 48%. Directed by Catherine Hardwicke, written by Melissa Rosenberg, starring Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, Billy Burke, Ashley Greene, Taylor Lautner, Peter Facinelli, Anna Kendrick, who forgets she's in this movie sometimes.
She does. I saw that.
I would too.
Eddie Gathegi and Gil Birmingham. High school student Bella Swan, always a bit of a misfit, doesn't expect much of a change when she moves from sunny Arizona to rainy Washington State. Then she meets Edward Cullen, a handsome but mysterious teen whose eyes seem to peer directly into her soul. Edward is a vampire whose family does not drink human blood, and Bella, far from being frightened, enters into a dangerous romance with her immortal soulmate.
I'm not sure if it's because you just said her name out loud, but for some reason, you sound a lot like Anna Kendrick to me.
Me?
Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Pay attention to it.
Sure.
Okay. Now
Next.
I'm going to try not... okay. I'll try not to change my...
Hi, I'm Anna Kendrick.
I am Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick.
My teeth are big and perfect. Christopher Good. No, Jessica says, how ironic that Inside the Morgue released a vampire episode the same day you do a Twilight
Jessica,
episode.
are you a fan of Inside the Morgue? Oh my God.
Pink
Just
says,
kidding. Jessica's in the morgue with me.
I don't like romantic comedies and I don't like musicals. Having said that, I own and am very fond of Down with Love.
A sweet movie.
Humans be inconsistent, yo. I don't know Down with Love.
It's Ewan McGregor and
Love Ewan McGregor.
Bridget Jones. Sorry, Renee Zellweger. 1960s romantic comedy.
Oh, fun.
About marketing agency.
Oh, Sam's leaving to watch Abbott.
Yeah, she's yeah.
Love that.
All right.
Bye, Sam.
We wouldn't
Bye,
survive
Sam.
Abbott.
Go.
All right. So we're going to get into the production of this movie.
Awesome.
And it actually, I don't know how much you know about
Production.
the production phase that this movie
I didn't.
went through.
I intentionally didn't read any of that part. I just
Incredible.
read my part.
I am
'cause
so excited
wanna,
to tell you this story.
I want to be in it.
So Twilight, as I just said, is a 2008 romantic fantasy film directed by Catherine Hardwicke, and the screenplay was written by Melissa Rosenberg. Based on the 2005 Stephanie Meyer book of the same name, the movie was developed for 3 years by Paramount Pictures MTV Films first. And during the time, the story strayed so much from the original story of the book, which I'll get into in a minute. Summit Entertainment ended up acquiring the rights when Paramount MTV Films stalled on development, and Melissa Rosenberg wrote a new adaptation that was much closer to Stephanie Meyer's book that she was much happier with because she had a lot of problems with the original script.
Ooh.
So Paramount Pictures MTV Films. In early 2004, this is before the book is even out, Greg Marodian, I might be butchering his name, of Maverick Films brought an unpublished manuscript of Twilight to Executive VP of Paramount MTV Films, David Gale, to pitch a film adaptation. MTV Films eventually acquired the rights in April of 2004, and they hired Mark Lord to write the script. And according to Lord, he pitched his adaptation as Twilight as a vampiric Romeo and Juliet, but he said MTV wanted him to beef it up with some action to make it more appealing to a male audience. And this is the point where I just want to say, they think it's like an SNL skit with Emma Stone where like a little boy is complaining about a toy that was like made for little girls, and she's like, you have everything.
Yep.
Let her have this one thing. So that's what I say to him, trying to beef it up for a male audience. Just gonna say that. So he said, quote, they wanted to put some action to advance it more and give it something more for the male audience. They thought they were going to lose the male audience with too much romance. The whole book is a romance.
Yeah.
It's literally, that's the story, is the romance.
What's his name? Lord?
Mark Lord.
Is that a pseudonym or is that like a pen name for Todd McFarlane?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I get the reference.
3 people get that.
So MTV Films actually loved the script that he came up with, which had tons of changes, among making Bella Swan a long-distance runner instead of her clumsy self, which is her whole character is being clumsy and having to be saved, which is kind of why he made her a long-distance runner. He wanted her to be more independent, which I can get.
You know what? I'm into that.
Independently run away from things. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It had her as a long-distance runner. There was a lot more cursing. There was shotguns used against vampires. Bella used a shotgun to kill the vampires who killed her father. That's a huge, I know.
What?
Not
Spoiler
Charlie.
for this non-existent movie.
But Charlie.
She ends up getting turned into a vampire, and then somewhere along the way, there are people vampires riding on jet skis to run away from the FBI.
Are they like at night?
Is it still at forks?
I don't know. Maybe they're. Well, I don't know if he kept the sparkly element. Maybe they weren't sparkling while.
Well, also too, there's are they still like rock hard in this?
Marble skins.
Oh,
I don't. I rock hard is.
I don't know.
That's marble skin.
Yeah.
Because a shotgun would be funny.
So yeah, they tried to. They like overcorrected. Trying to make it an action movie and like trying to. I understand there's problems with Bella, and we're gonna get into that later. Not Bella the character, but like with gender roles and everything in this story. I have a lot of thoughts about it. But yeah, they way missed the mark on that. But apparently MTV Films loved it. But when asked about the script, Stephanie Meyer said they could have filmed this and not called it Twilight because it has nothing to do with my book and it's kind of frightening. So there was a change of management. Brad Weston, who became the new president of Paramount Pictures, scrapped this action-packed Twilight, telling Gale that he believed audiences weren't interested in films about vampires or werewolves. And this is because Weston was involved in the werewolf movie Cursed, which flopped, which is the movie directed by Wes Craven and written by Kevin Williamson.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Scream, yeah. So that movie flopped, so he's like, nobody wants vampires and werewolves, so we're not going to do this Twilight movie.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
That was the one that was like edited all to Get Out, right?
Yeah. Kind of like it.
Bad CGI.
I've actually never
Still
seen it.
like it. It's got a really great wolf
transformation.
I might have to check it out.
No practical effect. Like
Oh,
it's a practical wolf.
Nice. Great.
The CG is like the changing, but
Oh, okay. The practical wolf then I like. So then in January 2006, Paramount put Twilight into turnaround, which is when Rosenberg, came into the production. She tried to a co-production deal between Paramount and Fox, but later Fox Atomic, but none of this worked out. They couldn't come to an agreement.
Are we sure what turnaround means? Do you know what turnaround means?
No.
I'll look up the exact.
I definitely looked it up last night, and then I forgot to write the definition in here. In October 2006, she met with Eric Feig, president of Summit Entertainment.
Is that? I want to say Feige. Sorry.
Is it Feige? It's Feig.
No,
I'm keep thinking of it.
Feig. Okay.
Eric Feig. After meeting Feig, he read the book and passed it on to his colleagues at Summit, who saw potential to make this a franchise. Spoiler alert, they did. When Paramount Pictures let the rights to Twilight expire in 2007, that's when Summit fully acquired it and made an agreement with Meyer that this adaptation would be much more loyal to her book.
I looked it up. It's what I thought. I just didn't have the words for it. Turnaround is the transfer of a film project in development hell from one studio, leading the project to receiving a green light at another studio. So it's kind of like a transition period, like a contractual transition period from one studio to the other.
Nice. So before even having the rights to Twilight, is it Feig or Feig?
Whatever you
Feig had been interested in working with Catherine Hardwicke. He had sent her 5 scripts, including the original action-packed Mark Lord Twilight script, which Hardwicke did not like at all. But it made her curious about Twilight, so she bought Twilight the book with an apple. With the apple, get it? And
Apple Watch.
She read it, and she actually really enjoyed the book and started seeing herself making this film. So after Summit got the rights to the movie, Hardwicke was set to direct with Rosenberg writing the script. And due to the impending WGA strike, Rosenberg worked full-time to finish the screenplay before October 31st, 2007. And to do this, she had to condense a great deal from the book, and she stated, our intent all along was to stay true to the book, and it has to do less with adapting it word for word and more with making sure the characters' arcs and emotional journeys are the same, which I think she stays pretty true to. There are a lot of scenes that are cut out or a lot of scenes that are combined. Yeah. Like the scene of her figuring out he's a vampire and then the meadow scene are all kind of like mushed into one big thing that she just does in the middle of a school day instead of on the weekend.
Why was the leading question? Why Catherine Hardwicke? Like her previous movies?
Yes, I'm going to get into some of her previous movies. He saw her at, I think she had some films at Sundance.
It's a choice. Like for people that know her, it's like, okay, I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stephanie was very involved in the production of these movies, or this first movie and the rest that come along, but Catherine Hardwicke didn't direct the rest. Trying to keep it as close to the source material as she could, and such such as ensuring that the vampires don't have fangs. They wanted to make that change to like give the vampires fangs in the movies, and she said absolutely not. They don't have fangs in my book. And keeping in one of the most famous lines, so the lion fell in love with the lamb. They wanted to cut that or change it slightly, and she said no. And I think I was reading it's because she said so many people have that line tattooed on them. She thought that it'd be disappointing if they went to go see the movie and the line had changed.
When did they say that?
I don't remember that in the movie.
It's in the meadow scene where the lion fell in love with a lamb. What a stupid lamb. What a sick masochistic lion or something.
Who says
I
it?
don't remember that at all.
Bella and Edward.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
It's when they're being all, I was going to say when they're staring at each other and being all breathy, but that's most of the movie.
Wait, was it? Yeah. Oh,
In
which
the
time?
forest.
Which
In the
time?
forest.
Again, which time?
Oh, right. Sorry, I was just looking up the director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cast for this movie, we have Bella, who is played by Kristen Stewart, but Lily Collins and Kay Stu, which I don't think she likes, so I'll forget that I said that. Lily Collins and Jennifer Lawrence also screen tested. Frances Bean Cobain turned down the role.
Oh, wow.
And Hardwick
remember
was a
when she was-
fan of Kristen from her movie Into the Wild, and Stewart agreed to meet with Hardwick while she was filming Adventureland. Also a good movie. I like that movie.
I never saw that one.
Oh, it's fun. Hardwick went to visit her in Philly while she was filming with Jackson Rathbone, who plays Jasper, but at the time was in the running to play Edward.
You know the guy who does?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, nailed it. That's what he looks like. But
Whole time.
Yeah.
Whole time.
Yeah.
He
But-
talked once. Yeah.
He was in the running for Edward and was brought on for an informal screen test in which Kristen apparently captivated Hardwick, and she landed the role.
Nice.
Edward, as we all know, is played by Robert Pattinson.
There he is.
He's
Look at that
the
handsome.
Kristen Stewart.
Bobby P. He loves being called that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby P.
We talked the other night. We
Yeah?
text. He loves being called that. I'm
love
like,
it.
what are things going on with you in case too? He's like, yo, bro, we don't
Bobby
talk
P.
about it. And I was like, all right, happy birthday, Bobby P.
Happy birthday, Bobby.
It was his birthday yesterday. I don't know if you guys knew that. Almost with your sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Almost. Jackson Rathbone, Shiloh Fernandez, who plays David Allen in the 2013 Evil Dead. Ben Barnes, who is Prince Caspian in Narnia, and Robert Pattinson were the final four contenders for Edward. And after a successful screen test with Kristen, which apparently was just them, not just them, but they did the whole bedroom kissing scene on Catherine Hardwick's actual bed. They went to her house and did the scene.
Yeah, they did.
So that's when he was cast. But a little weird, uncomfy, a little bit of facts here. Kristen was 17 at the time and Rob was 21, which led Hardwick saying something to Rob about being mindful that Kristen was underage and that he had to be careful or he'd end up in jail.
Oh, my God.
She even claimed to have made him swear on a stack of Bibles that he'd behave.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep it in your pants, professional actor.
Right? I was
Whatever.
like, did that not have to? All right.
Not just one Bible, a whole stack.
A
of
whole
them?
stack.
How,
Yeah.
I
how
don't
many
know where
do you
she
think?
found him.
It makes so I know the truth is probably Catherine Hardwick was cringe, but it makes Robert Pattinson sound like a creeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I was like,
Like, come on, dude.
I think, yeah, I doubt that was
No.
crossing his mind at the time. Taylor Lautner is Jacob Black. Lautner is not Native American, which I'm going to get more into in New Moon because that has more to do with Jacob and the whole Quileute tribe, and I want to get more into how they were impacted by these stories because it's not great. But Lautner is English, Swiss German, Dutch, Scottish, and distant Irish, French, and Welsh. So
I thought he was Hispanic.
this is
I
what
thought he was
Wikipedia
Native
told
American.
me.
I thought he was Hispanic because he was in a bunch of when he was younger. He was in a bunch of Robert Rodriguez stuff.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh yeah, everyone in his movies is Hispanic.
And I couldn't find this in any articles. I just found this in a bunch of Reddit threads. But apparently, it's rumored that Christopher Hyatt, who has an uncredited role as Embry Call, who's a member of the Quileute tribe in the La Push scene, when Kristen or Bella goes to the beach and she invites Edward and he says no, and then those two guys come with Jacob and they're like, the Cullens don't come here. He's one of those guys. Apparently, it's rumored, this might just be a fan rumor, that he was supposed to be Jacob Black, but that he refused to cut his hair for the later films, which is a big part of Jacob's whole thing. And so he wasn't cast.
Did
I do
Stephanie-
not know if that is true.
Did Stephanie Meyer know that tribe doesn't want to cut their hair or shouldn't cut their hair or doesn't cut their hair?
I don't know.
Because if it's a part of the book, like, do your homework. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Again, this is all just rumor. I couldn't find any hard articles, actual facts that said he was cast. This was just whisperings on Reddit threads.
It's a good wig, though.
Yeah. Peter Facinelli, who plays Carlisle, allegedly also wasn't the first actor cast. There was a whole other actor cast that I couldn't find the name of. It just said another actor. But he stepped down from the role in which Peter was asked.
The Peter Facinelli. I don't know if you guys remember Peter Facinelli. Married to Jenny Garth. In a lot of Fox teen 1 hour dramas in the late 90s and Fastlane with Bill Bellamy and Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Oh.
Yeah, it's terrible. Just terrible filmography.
Aw.
but
Peter
but
Facinelli.
so good, but so late 90s. So late 90s.
I love
yeah.
that vibe though.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Reeser is Esme Cullen. Nikki Reed is Rosalie Hale. And I think in the Eclipse episode, which is the third installment of this franchise, I'm going to have a whole Justice for Rosalie section because she is portrayed as an awful character, especially because most of the book is from Bella's POV and they do not get along. But the character of Rosalie Hale needs more justice. Her whole story is so tragic and sad, and the way she acts is totally justified, in my opinion.
Okay.
But Nikki Reed actually worked with Hardwick before in the movie 13, which she started and she helped write because it's based off of allegedly her experiences.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Ashley Greene is Alice Cullen, and there was some controversy about her playing Alice Cullen because Alice is in the books described as teeny tiny little bitty pixie, and Ashley Greene's 5'7".
Oh.
But that's the only controversy I found about her, and I'm like, that's fine.
The haircut does
gave
it.
her a short
It's
haircut.
okay.
The pixie haircut does all the heavy lifting.
Kellen Lutz is Emmett Cullen. Jackson Rathbone is Jasper Hale, who was originally going to be Edward, maybe. Billy Burke is Charlie.
Yay!
Gil Birmingham as Billy Black. Cam Gigandit, if I'm saying that right, as James. Rachel Lefevre as Victoria in the first two movies. She is recast in the third one. Eddie Gathegi as Laurent. Anna Kendrick as Jessica Stanley.
The Mr. Terrific.
Yeah. Christina Saratus as Angela. Michael Welsh as Mike Newton. Justin Chon as Eric. And Gregory Tyree Boyce as Tyler, who famously almost hits Bella with his car, but is stopped by Edward.
What's the character's name, Choi?
Justin Chon as Eric.
He was so into her.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
so bad for him.
Well, that's another thing they combined. So there is a character Eric in the book, and there's also a character Ben who we don't see in the movies. Eric is very into Bella. He's one of the Bella fanboys. Ben though is very into Angela, but is too scared to ask her out because there's a height difference.
Oh.
And there's a really cute part that you read in Midnight Sun, which is Twilight from Edward's perspective, where Edward pretends to be gossiping with his brother about how hot he finds Angela. So then that makes Ben ask her out before Edward can ask her out, and he helps them get together.
Oh.
It's really cute. But in the book, in the movie, they mush Eric and Ben together. So Eric and Angela are the ones that end up together. But
Gotcha.
it's supposed to be in a Tyler.
Not to spoil my opinion of the movie, but it really does capture the awkwardness of teenagers and how stupid they are.
Yeah, that's
In a good way.
Yeah.
That's a positive. It the kid asks her out and she says no, and then he asks the other girl out and she's like, guess who happens to me out? And I'm just
Yeah.
man.
yeah. It's literally being a teenager in a
like,
nutshell.
oh, dude, this is too real. And then they're vampires.
No, it's one of the reasons I love rewatching these movies is because they make me feel like a teen again. Not just because I was a teen when I read these and was obsessed with them, but it's just oh my god, they're awkward TV teens that everything feels so big and important when you're a teenager like that, and it's just
I get that.
I kind of wish we had more with the high school friends in the movie. The movie in retrospect feels very short. They get through a lot,
Yeah, which I don't hate, but they do a lot of really good background work though. There are multiple scenes where the teens are being effective teens as window dressing and background jokes, and it gives the whole ridiculous thing an air of kind of authenticity that
like
is
when everybody's goofing off at
very-
the beach and she's having like a really serious conversation with Jacob about vampires.
I
And they're all
genuinely
just-
think they're having a conversation and they're having fun. It's
Yeah.
not just like stand there
Yeah.
yeah.
in the light kind of thing. Yeah.
Or the famous "Look, Bella, a worm" line.
Yeah.
So teenage boy.
I keep
And
thinking
me,
of
like-
I keep thinking of too all the scenes because they're all relatively young. All of these actors are in their high teens or early
Or
20s.
early 20s, yeah.
All the stuff in the cafeterias when there's not even dialogue that you can hear and it's just music, they're all really crushing it, and it like makes everything lived in. It's honestly, some of that stuff is more authentic than the actual A plot of the movie.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yep. All right.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I like this. So I'm going to get a little bit about post-production and filming, and then I'm going to throw it to JD to tell us about the
Banger
awesome
soundtrack.
Oh my
soundtrack.
God. Come on.
It's not as good as Mission Impossible 2, but it's a soundtrack.
How dare you?
Dun, dun.
How dare you? I'm going to flip this table.
Does it have Limp Bizkit in it? No. Points off.
That's your
Sorry.
metric.
On a scale of 1 to Limp Bizkit, how many songs from Limp Bizkit does it have? It's clearly a rating.
That's our rating system. How many Limp Biscuits do you give it?
How many out of 5 Limp Biscuits?
1 out of 5 Limp Bizkits. And somebody's just like,
Is that
Is
good or
more
bad?
bad?
Yeah.
I feel like where's that? I don't
0 Limp
understand.
Bizkits. 0 Limp Bizkits.
It's
Would
a
again.
masterpiece.
Yeah. Go twice. Sorry.
Oh, I love it. So principal photography took 44 days after more than a week of rehearsals and was finished on May 2nd, 2008. Similar to her movie 13, Hardwick went for an extensive use of handheld cinematography to make it, quote, feel real. Myers came to the set 3 times and even has a cameo in one of the restaurant scenes. She's sitting there ordering a veggie burger.
We were watching it all together, and she did the
I couldn't shut up. I'm
the Leonardo DiCaprio.
And it was really clear. We could have paused, but no, it was like,
No.
she's gone forever, guys.
Cast members who played vampires in the movie participated in rehearsals with a dance choreographer to make it like their bodies and their movements seem more elegant and flowy.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Most scenes were shot in Portland, Oregon, including the Cullen house. The cast mostly did their own stunts. The final fight scene between James and Edward was done by Robert Pattinson and Cam Gigandit, who plays James.
Yeah.
And it was filmed during the first week of production. They used a lot of wires, which I think
Clearly.
you can tell. It's a theme throughout these movies.
Yeah.
You've seen them. It's a theme throughout these movies.
First week of production?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a hot take on that.
Okay.
Later.
All right.
A little later.
It involved a lot of wire work, and Pattinson noted that maintaining one's center of gravity was super difficult due to the wire work because you have to really fight against it as well as letting it do what it needs to do. And this fight scene is actually unique to the film. It's not in the book because the book is all from Bella's POV, and she was unconscious on the floor during the fight.
Oh, I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I didn't
So it
forget.
was totally a...
So is she just?
I didn't know.
She gets knocked unconscious and then she wakes up and the whole
She's
thing's
like
done.
bleeding out. And I think we see snippet like she sees the Cullens come get her. She's feeling burning in her arm because she gets bit.
Right.
And then knows she's safe, but she doesn't see like James actually die.
What a
Interesting.
fucking choice. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
right?
climax later.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
You're sleepies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a really good example of movies and books don't have to be the same.
Yeah.
Because how wildly anticlimactic would that be in a visual medium to remove the entire climax from the perspective of the audience? That's wild. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. My last thing is Forks High School is actually a real school, but they didn't film at the actual school. The school scenes were shot at Kalama High School and Leotis V. McDaniel High School, and other scenes were shot in St. Helens, and there were some reshoots in Pasadena, California, where Hardwick lives.
Every time that they
Live.
showed that high school, especially the parking lot, I didn't understand how all those kids parked in that small of a parking lot.
Yeah.
I've never seen a school with that small of a parking lot. I hope there's more in the back.
Forks is supposed to be famously small. Like, there's supposed to be, like, not a lot of kids there.
I grew up
but
in a tiny town of maybe like 15,000, and it was like 4 lots.
What was your high school graduating class size?
200? 300?
100.
Yeah. There's more parking than this movie, though.
No, we had very
really?
little parking.
Were kids just not allowed to park, though?
I can't remember. I think you had to be either a junior or a senior to be able to park in the lot. It was very small, and then there was like
Fucking
teacher parking around the bar.
Trying to stop you from parking where you want to park.
Once it didn't affect me. I didn't get my license until I was a sophomore in college. So,
who needs it?
All right, JD.
All right. So the soundtrack, I did some research on that. Fun fact. The Morse code for Twilight is where Paramore got their
It sounds like
lyrics.
How did we get here?
and it's a very specific frequency that's tapped against marble.
Yes, yeah. So anyway, the first song of the ending credits, Radiohead's 15 Step, not included on the soundtrack.
You know what? Why? Do you know why?
I don't.
I was gonna say, like, I can totally see them being like, you can use it in the movie, but you will not take royalties, or we will not sell it to you for the soundtrack.
Gotcha.
Because they do, like, now that soundtracks are barely ever like in physical media, they're only on like iTunes.
Yeah.
If you go to iTunes or Spotify, a lot of times songs that exist on other albums will not be playable via the soundtrack.
Yes.
They'll redirect you because that's a royalties thing.
Another fun fact is I was looking to listen to this soundtrack on, I have a subscription to Tidal, Tidal, not on there. All of the other soundtracks for the rest of the Twilight saga are all there, except for this one. So I had to listen to it on YouTube. Like someone made a playlist. So anyway, Decode by Paramore was the first single released from the soundtrack. It premiered on Paramore's fan club site and Stephanie Meyer's official website on October 1, 2008. The music video for Decode premiered on November 3rd. The song was certified platinum in the US on February 16th, 2010, selling over 1 million copies. It was also nominated for a Grammy in 2010 for Best Song Written for a Movie.
Hard agree. Love that song.
Hard eyes agree. Yes.
Hard eyes.
So I discovered Paramore after this movie. I always sort of lump them together with Avril Lavigne, Sum 21. What's that band? It's like a fake punk sort of thing. I just sort of poo-pooed them. I never really paid attention to them. And then at some point, I clicked. They clicked for me, and now they're one of my top 3 bands of all time. I love Paramore so much. If you like the song Decode by Paramore, on YouTube, there is the most glorious version of this song that is acoustic only, and the sound is so crisp and wonderful. It gives me tingles every single time I listen to it. And she looks like a baby.
How did you know? Sidetrack. How did you know? What was your first?
Paramore?
Yeah.
Misery Business is what really sucked me into them. I had that on my iPod along with my All American Rejects, and I was super stoked when they did a song for Twilight. They have 2 songs. I'll let you.
Okay.
But yeah, they have 2 songs. But like the music video for Decode is, I just love the 2000 vibe of like they're in a forest singing, and then there's intercuts of the movie, and it's just
of them in the forest.
Of in the forest. Yeah.
Pre-iTunes and stuff like that. I would record in my college post-college apartment. I would VHS record like overnight music videos so I could just play them later.
Nice.
Crush was on heavy rotation. Absolutely adored that song, and she's cute as hell in it. And
she's so good.
I was
Fences was a good
obsessed
song.
with that song and that album, and then everything after
Crush
that.
is
I didn't know that they were on the soundtrack, including a bunch of these other artists, because this is a blank spot for me. So watching the movie, I was like,
Yeah, he did that. So anyway, yeah, I love me some Paramore. I love me some Decode, and also check out that I don't know if we could put a link somewhere, but it's one of my all-time favorites. Let's see what else. Go All the Way Into the Twilight by Perry Farrell was the second single release from the soundtrack. Perry Farrell, who's that from? What band is he from?
With Flea. Just caught stealing. Got caught stealing once when I was 5. What's that band?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Jane's Addiction.
Jane. I knew it was a female
Yes.
name. Jane's Addiction.
You didn't get it either, Dylan.
So Perry Farrell was the second single from the soundtrack. It premiered on Meyer's website on October 23rd, 2008. Twilight by Clea Ribeiro was the last single released from the soundtrack. A rumor about a Twilight saga series with this song brought all the buzz.
Okay.
What? That sentence does not make any sense. The Twilight soundtrack debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, selling 165,000 copies in its first week, according to Nielsen's SoundScan. Twilight is the first soundtrack to hit #1 in advance of its film's release since the 8 Mile soundtrack in 2002. The album was certified double platinum. After a re-release of the album in a deluxe edition in 2009, it climbed from #14 to #3 on the Billboard 200, selling 74,000 copies. It remained on the Billboard 200 for 48 consecutive weeks. As of April 2014, the album has sold 2,807,000 copies in the U.S. That is the soundtrack. You have questions?
I don't have questions. I feel like some gaps. Muse,
Go.
Linkin Park, Mute Math, Collective Soul. Robert Pattinson does 2 songs.
Yep.
Iron and Wine. Like, these are huge bands.
Yes.
And that's wild. Like, I went to a concert maybe 2 or 3 years after this for Muse, and I did not know that they were on the soundtrack, and everyone only knew Supermassive Black Hole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is this? I mean, it's a great song on that one album, but what the fuck is going on? And I didn't know until
throwing the fastball.
Didn't know
can't
until
kick my
that
leg high
concert
enough.
that it was a big feature in the movie, which I thought was really cool. And Linkin Park is on the soundtrack.
Dude, this whole
Leave out all
soundtrack
the
is
rest.
banging. We listened to it on the way home from...
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
It's one of my favorite soundtracks.
It's a good soundtrack.
Unironically, it's one of my favorite soundtracks.
Are the other ones as good?
The other ones are all very good in my opinion. Twilight is the top though. Like there doesn't get much better than
This is very much aughts.
I'm trying to
Like,
remember
Yeah.
what
So
the
very
last great movie soundtrack album was.
We should do this for another topic.
Yeah.
But also, what's the best movie soundtrack? And the movie sucks.
How many Limp Biscuits?
Because there's a lot of like amazing soundtracks, but the movie's like, okay. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I feel like
Anyway.
that's this movie for a lot of people.
I think Who's the Man had a really good soundtrack, but the movie's not great.
Who's the man?
Yeah, look it up. Hey, the chat is happening. Let's see. He was also the superior Max Lord in
Facinelli.
Supergirl season 1.
Peter Facinelli. Also, Can't Hardly Wait. He's the bully in Can't Hardly Wait. I forgot about that.
So yeah, the score, Carter Burwell composed and orchestrated the score for Twilight over a 9 to 10 week period, and it was recorded and mixed in about 2 weeks in late September 2008. He began the score with a love theme for Bella and Edward's relationship, a variation on which became Bella's Lullaby that Robert Pattinson plays in the film, and that is included on the Twilight original motion picture soundtrack. The original theme is featured throughout the film and serves to play the romance that drives the story. Another theme Burwell composed was the Predator theme, which opens the film and is intended to play Edward's vampire nature.
Oh, you don't mean the Predator.
I
Not
thought
the
that too
Predator.
at first. I was like, whoa.
No,
what?
Predator, the album by Ice Cube.
Oh,
Which
that
is
would
a
have been
great-
cooler too.
Walking, stalking in my big black boots.
Oh, hey, I just found out Decode, the acoustic version, is actually on the deluxe edition of this soundtrack. So
I don't know if it's the same
available.
one, but I hope so, because it's
Okay.
so good. The score was released digitally on November 25th, 2008, and in stores. Oh, remember when there were stores that sold music? In December 9th.
Records.
The score album had sold 218,000 copies in the United States as of June 2010. So this a banger soundtrack.
Banger soundtrack. And something I want to say about Bella's Lullaby is I was waiting to hear what Bella's Lullaby sounds like because Edward plays the piano in Twilight and he writes as he's falling in love with Bella, he writes her a piano, like he makes her, he composes her music. So like I knew Bella's Lullaby was going to be in the movie and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. I was like, what does it sound like? Like, oh my God. And so yeah, Bella's Lullaby
Your
is a big.
expectations?
I was,
Yes.
We should be friends.
Yes, we should be friends.
Wait,
We should hang out sometime.
hold on. Before anyone reflexively reads the rest of the comments, don't, because Sam threw in a banger there, and I want to
already
save it
did,
for
but you-
a full. Well, you can read it. I mean, don't read it out loud, because that's a good topic.
Yes.
we should. Pin that.
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
did it live up to your expectations?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Hindsight or in real time?
No, in real time
Okay.
it met my expectations. In hindsight, I don't know. Because in hindsight, I've read Midnight Sun, which you are in Edward's head as he's writing the song.
Yeah.
What rhymes with orange?
There's no words. It's
Bella
just,
Stella.
It's just
Bella
the piano.
Stella. Your boobs.
Bella, you're a real fine fella.
No, actually, he's not
feel of
into
my
her
marble
boobs.
skin.
He's super into her collarbones, though. He talks
Bella-
about her collarbones a lot.
He does.
Because he wants to suck our blood.
No.
He
not it.
super smells
Kidding
her.
me.
He super smells her.
her. You're right. He does super
He's all
smell
like,
her.
"Bleh, I want to eat you. That's a motivation.
That's-
I'm not lying.
The movie. Yeah. There you go. Nailed it.
Twilight in 4 words. Bleh.
You.
I'm gonna eat you. So it's 4. Oh, okay. Cool.
All right. Bring us into
I'm gonna talk about from premiere date on
To now.
to now.
do it
All
right.
Podcast.
all 17 years
Buckle.
between now and then. Go pee now. Anyway,
Christopher, good night. We're going to be talking about life and death.
Which is a book.
The
so
book.
Twilight premiered at midnight on November 21st, 2008. It's
I was there.
6 days before Thanksgiving weekend, so it had a lot of runway. It grossed $7 million on that set of screenings alone, $35.7 million on opening day, and $70 million on full opening weekend. Ultimately grossing $192.8 million in North America and $214 million internationally, adding up to $400 million
Whoa.
worldwide. So
That's like Amazing Spider-Man numbers.
it cost $37 million to make.
That's insane. Well, that tracks.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Opening weekend was also the
Fly
highest.
hards, go hard.
Yeah.
They're not twice softs.
They go twi hard. Yeah. Where did you get your tendencies of aggression? Twilight.
Because we go hard.
Yeah. You've seen war. I've seen the lines waiting for the third book.
I was at Barnes & Noble when Breaking Dawn came out.
I've seen women cry. All right, no. I've seen grown men cry.
There it is,
and women
okay.
cry. Yeah, whatever. Opening weekend was also the highest grossing for a female-directed film, surpassing Deep Impact in 1998 by Mimi Leder. This was up until that time, this was the 5th highest grossing pre-sales for all movies. 4th only to New Moon, and then like Star Wars, Harry Potter, and something else. Critical reaction was mixed at best.
Yeah.
223 reviews collected. The aggregate score for Rotten Tomatoes was 48%, but the popcorn meter, the audience scores, 72%. Audiences generally enjoyed it. Also boasting an A- cinema score. So we have mentioned cinema score before, but we've never talked about how they actually collect those numbers. I figured that would be kind of cool.
Do it.
So it's an A- cinema score. It measures explicitly audiences' overall impression and experience in the theater. So what they do is, where is it? I've got it right here. 25 theaters. How it works. Okay. CinemaScore describes itself as the industry leader in measuring movie appeal. There are 35 to 45 teams of representatives present in 25 of the largest cities in North America. Each Friday, representatives in 5 randomly chosen cities give opening day audiences a small survey card. The card asks age, gender, grade of the film, and whether they would rent or buy the movie on DVD or Blu-ray, and why they would choose that film, or whether or not they felt the film lived up to expectations. So it really is a holistic rating, not just critical. It's like if they had a good experience, if they didn't, if they popped with emotions, if the crowd was in it. So it really rates more of like the 4 quadrant of a theater experience, and not just. So that's why you'll see like movies with 1 to 2 stars will sometimes have an A- critical or cinema score, because people just had fun watching it.
Yeah.
And that's basically this.
Yeah.
People just had a really, really good time, and the hype was real, and it was a high cinema score, even though critical reaction was much lower.
Yeah.
Some fun quotes that I found from critics, which I think also kind of sum up my feelings of the movie in a roundabout way. New York Press, Armand White called the film genuine pop classic and praised Hardwick for making it a Bronx-esque film. Via basically Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights. So kind of turned it into a literary work, pop culture literary.
Is Wuthering Heights.
Yeah. Roger Ebert.
She reads it like 5 times in this book.
My dude, Roger Ebert, R.I.P. 2.5 stars out of 4. I saw it at a sneak preview. Last
2.5
time,
out of 4?
yeah, this is his exact quote. I saw it at a sneak preview, which is
Limp Bizkits.
yeah. Sneak previews. So there's critic screenings, which is only critics inside, no audiences. Sneak previews, critics get their own row, but they watch it with an audience. I saw it at a sneak preview. Last time I saw a movie in that same theater, the audience welcomed it as an opportunity to catch up on gossip, texting, and laughing at private jokes. This time, the audience was wrapped with attention. So he knew that even if he didn't enjoy it, there was something about this experience, and
There was something big happening, yeah.
Kenneth Turn at the LA Times wrote, Twilight is unabashedly a romance. All the story's inherent silliness aside, it is intent on conveying the magic of meeting that one special person you've been waiting for. Maybe it is possible to be 13 and female for a few hours after all. USA critic Claudia Pugh gave the movie 2 out of 4 stars, citing, Meyer is said to have been involved in the production of Twilight, but her novel was substantially more absorbing than the unintentionally funny and quickly forgettable film. Owen Gleiberman from Entertainment Weekly gave it a B, praising Hardwick. She's reconjured Meyer's novel as a cloudburst mood piece.
What?
Filled with stormy skies, rippling hormones, and understated visual effects. Yeah, they were understated, all right. Some better ones I thought were really fun. Hank Sartain of Time Out. Earnest, moody approach to Stephenie Meyer's tremendously popular novel may be just the thing for 14-year-old girl in all of us. And
That's what I'm saying.
Genevieve Koski of the AV Club. While the movie attempts to find a compelling middle ground between gothic supernaturalism and teenage romance, it usually winds up stumbling into the inane territory implied by both descriptions. So not like each one could be great, but just mid on both counts. So that is to kind of exemplify that the reviews themselves weren't typically scathing, but they were very like hand wavy away, like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
If it's for you, it's for you.
That's
There was-
yeah.
There was nothing. So the spite is with general audiences, but critical appraisal was basically like, I could tell you all the things that are technically wrong here, but it works for who it's supposed to be for.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of graded it on that curve. And I think that's why maybe the 48% is probably appropriate.
Yeah.
Critical. But then you've got like 75% audience. There's something about this movie that just captures. Home release was interesting. It absolutely crushed on home release. Midnight release parties and selling roughly 3 million units on day one of sales.
Wow.
By July
Well,
2012,
at
which
least
was
for me.
13 years ago, the movie had made an additional 202 million in home video sales.
So like over $600 million.
More than that. That was 10. Those metrics were taken 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even counting like upgrading to 4K and the box set, and they did director's cuts and re-releases and streaming. This is $1 billion movie, not just franchise. It has probably made tons and tons of money. Awards. Since its release, Twilight has received numerous nominations and awards. These are kind of funny. In January 2009, Carter Burwell was nominated for Film Composer of the Year. Cool. Robert Pattinson won Bravo TV's A-List Award for A-List Breakout. 2009 MTV Movie Awards, Pattinson was nominated alongside Taylor Lautner, but won an award for Male Breakthrough Performance. Decode was nominated for Best Song in a Movie. You mentioned that already. Twilight won Best Movie. Kristen Stewart won Best Female Performance. Stewart and Pattinson won for Best Kiss. And Pattinson and Cam Giga Chad won an award for, I can't say the name. I can't fucking say the name. Won the award for Best Fight. Christian Sorrentos won Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a Feature Film. Supporting Young Actress for 2019 Choice Awards. Held on August 9th. The film and its actors received a combined 12 nominations, and the film won 9 of those nominations.
Wow.
It won everything. It basically won all genre-related award shows.
Yeah.
No prestigious award shows at all, not even touching them. But everything that appealed to genre and youth, it just swept.
Right.
Fucking just crushed everything. And that's pretty much basically like this movie was wildly popular. It was widely successful. It was very well accepted despite mid reviews, and there's a reason why it's lasted so long.
I have some more stuff if I can. Do you mind?
Yeah, dude, man.
So the scene where Bella goes to the Cullens' house for the first time, and they're making her food, which is really cute. But then she ate. I'm making Italiano.
That's my favorite part of the movie.
And then she already ate because she thought they're vampires, so they wouldn't be eating.
And Edward had to blow up her spot and be like, because she was gonna just be like, oh, thank you so much. Like, and he's like, she already ate.
Yeah.
I would have slapped him.
So when Nikki Reed's character had to break the bowl, Rosalie had to break the bowl. She actually cut her hands. This is why she's wearing gloves for the scene. Because she already broke her hand, or already cut her hands.
Wasn't a fashion choice.
Sugar glass actually does cut.
Robert Pattinson actually plays the piano in the scene where Edward is playing Bella's lullaby.
Bella lullaby.
Let's see. As soon as he was cast, he moved to Oregon, began working on his character, both physically and mentally. He worked out 5 hours a day with a trainer, learning to fight, play baseball, and do stunts. He also had to learn to drive and get an Oregon driver's license. Excuse me.
I love Robert Pattinson. I'm not gonna hide it any longer. I love Robert Pattinson.
I love him. Not just because of this. I've loved him in everything I see in him.
Nikki Reed was the one who got the producers to add Robert Pattinson's songs to the film. She secretly recorded him from her laptop while he was singing and playing his guitar in filming breaks. She then took it to the director and producers, where they fell in love with his songs. The next day, they asked Rob if he could record a few of his songs for the soundtrack, and he reluctantly accepted.
It was Let Me Sign, and that's the one that's playing in the cafe when they're having dinner together.
Yep.
And then, what's the one, the Yarly one that he's...
Never Think.
Never Think.
Is that in the car?
Never Think is in the cafe. Let Me Sign is the one that's playing when he's like saving her in the end.
You are correct.
This is his first American role, had no formal training to perfect his American accent. He had never heard of the Twilight novels before being cast. He only attended casting because his American agent persuaded him, and he liked Kristen Stewart's performance in Into the Wild.
Oh, that's where Hardwick found it.
Kristen Stewart has naturally green eyes. She wears brown contacts for filming to match Bella's eye color. A few weeks before filming began, I like when this happens. A few weeks before filming began, Robert Pattinson didn't talk to anyone to try and feel as isolated as Edward Cullen. I think that if you're going to be, if you're an actor and you're going to be doing it, what's the phrase? Method. There are limits, but like stuff like that, to segregate yourself from separate yourself from the rest of the cast.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Don't be like, I'm playing an asshole, so I'm just going to be an asshole for a few months now.
What was he sending out, like used condoms or something?
God. Jared Leto.
I was
Jared
thinking
Leto.
more Blade.
Yep.
Wesley Snipes.
Oh.
He notoriously was method for those movies and didn't like anybody in the movie. So when you I think it was Ryan Reynolds was just like, how was it like to work with Wesley Snipes? He was like, I've never met Wesley Snipes. Because I was in a movie with him and he was in character. I don't, and he hated me in character, so I don't know who that is.
Kristen Stewart wore hair pieces, so they didn't have to waste time. I did not know that. So they didn't have to waste time doing her hair and therefore had more time to shoot. I didn't realize she was wearing a wig.
This is one of the better hair pieces they gave her. The wigs get progressively worse.
Because some of the wigs in this movie are bad.
They get worse.
Ugh.
Eclipse is like famously bad for everybody, I think.
Yeesh. So anyway, a little bit of whatnots in there.
Yeah, I love that. So the next thing, are you fun? Are you?
Oh
fun?
yeah,
are you done?
I'm done. It was received
great.
well.
The next thing I want to get into was our thoughts on Twilight and what were. I know this was your first time watching it. What was your first experience with Twilight and how was it on rewatch?
So we had a friend, Becky. We still have a friend, Becky. She's still with us. And this was back in the time of midnight showings. Growing up, midnight showings were my all-time favorite thing to do. And they have since, I think, gone by the wayside. Now you can go to like a 3 p.m. the day before a movie's released to go see it. So there's no real urgency or immediacy to go see a midnight movie. And she is a big Twilight fan. And because she was a big Twilight fan, I read the novels as well, just because she was so ebullient about them and wanted someone to chat with them. So I was like, I don't read of Twilight. I don't give a shit.
You're a good friend.
So I read the novels and I thought they were fine. Cute enough, didn't really strike me in any emotional way, but I was like, oh, these are cute. I hate Bella as a character. I understand that she is a insert character, a self-insert, right? For the audience. But I also find her to be so boring that it's a detriment to the experience. The movie...
I don't want to give you more homework to do, but Midnight Sun, it's interesting seeing Bella through Edward's eyes.
Yes.
Because since we're in Bella's POV, she doesn't think very highly of herself.
That's true. That's true.
So she seems very uninteresting in the book. But then like seeing her through Edward's eyes.
You get to see why this 109-year-old vampire would be like 17-year-old. So I'd like to see that. I'd be curious. And so I enjoyed the books well enough. And we went to the midnight opening, and it was... an experience that you don't get that often these days, again, with showings like that, where if you're going to a midnight showing, it is because you are already a fan of the thing or you're already excited about it. And so there was something in the air, the same way you would go to a Harry Potter opening. And there was like a sense of community and there was a buzz, you know? And so that was fun. And I think that there are a lot of things about this movie that are interesting and entertaining and fun. And I think that there are a lot of things about this movie that are subpar. Unintentionally, I think someone said in there something about unintentionally funny. And I think a lot of the physical effects are unintentionally funny.
Spider monkey.
Like, that's cute.
But like the running up
the mountain, the climbing up the trees, the way certain things are framed, it's so over the top romance novel cover. You know, like he's up in the tree and they're talking to each other inches away from each other. And, you know, and some of the dialogue is so cringy. Say it out loud, you know? And I can't ever, it's been ruined or made better by the SNL skit with Frankenstein's, which is just, that's all I think of now whenever I watch these movies is the, you know, them all walking into the high school. I just think Frankenstein's. So I think, are we rating?
Nah.
Not yet?
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
I don't know how many Limp Bizkits to give it, but
what do you think rewatching it? How long had it been since you'd seen it?
the theater.
Damn.
I haven't rewatched this movie since we saw it in the theater. I'm pretty sure.
So
There was
it's been 17 years.
yes.
16 and a half.
Rewatching it,
That's true.
November.
You're right. You're right. Not even and a half.
No.
Mostly 16. Basically.
I have grown to appreciate
Schlock.
Kristen Stewart as an actress over the years. But watching this, I find her to be borderline unwatchable. The tics that she has, the little things that she does for her character, it feels so over the top, like fake stuttering, and I'm so awkward, and she's constantly touching her hair, and it just drives me nuts. Robert Pattinson, I think, does a pretty good job. I think the rest of the family, the Cullens, are fun. I think her high school friends are all really fun. Like, I like watching all them. It's really just Kristen Stewart herself, our main character, that I find a little annoying. I spent this whole rewatch wishing that Anna Kendrick was playing Bella, because I find Anna Kendrick to be way more charming than Kristen Stewart is in this film. So I'll leave it there. I had fun watching it with you guys, though.
Yeah, it was fun to hang out and watch
Yeah.
it. Noel, first time.
Well, I actively avoided this for 17 years. 16 and
16 and 4 months.
Yeah. It just was in my purview. I didn't care. Like, there was no cross-reference or reasons to bother.
Because you hate love.
Sure.
And you hate vampires.
Sure.
And you hate film.
But
He doesn't like glitter. That's
It's true.
true.
yeah, I don't like glitter.
He
It's
threatened
fucking
us when we
stupid.
said we were going to wear glitter today.
Yeah, just I mean, hey, you're good. Just it takes forever to get off. Don't fucking touch me with
I
it.
have to shower again after.
It won't work. The shower won't work. You'll still have
I'm gonna
glitter.
smell that still.
Yeah, damn.
The shower
You
won't
can
work.
shower all you want. Not going to work.
I showered because I smelled like dead people.
Yeah, you're gonna glitter. It's gonna be a dirtbag glittery.
Kesha.
But
She's famously like that. I love Kesha.
I like how you're like, don't come at me,
yeah, no.
Kesha fans.
$$ ha is catching strays. My
Catching
sister,
strays.
yeah, catching strays.
Kesha.
Kesha.
Never mind, go ahead.
I need a minute to recover from that. So my sister and my father obsessively read and watched these movies
That's
together.
adorable.
They were
I love that.
they were like to the point where my dad named a dog Bella. They were very, very into this, and it became fun for me to make fun of them.
Yeah,
because that was their thing together. So my only impression of this movie is it made them happy, and me annoying them about it. Me annoying them about it made me happy. Sure. Like, so we were all happy
Everyone
together.
was happy.
Yeah.
it brought your whole family joy.
I also on and off worked for movie theaters, so like it was in the zeitgeist. I knew about the movies. I saw the trailers. I saw the crowds. Yeah. It was like, fine, okay, great, enjoy yourself, no big deal. I would see little snippets and scenes, and it was like, that's so cheesy. Yeah, and that's fine. So I wasn't an active hater, but I also just didn't care.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no in, and I didn't want to find an in. Mm-hmm. So when you brought up
Enter me.
when you brought up wanting to watch these, I was like, you know what? They have lasted forever. Why not? I'm less of a hater now and just more of a tell me why and understand it kind of thing. So this is my first legitimate watch through from the beginning to the very end with no interruption, not like snippets or somebody told me the story and I'm like, that's stupid. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all.
Honestly,
think
better than I thought I was going to go.
Yeah. I'm a real piece of shit.
No, I just I was like, I know this is for a selective audience, and I'm part of the audience. I don't know if you guys were. And I was like, oh, this is going to go badly.
There's so much good, but there's also just as much, if not slightly more bad.
Yeah.
It's not a movie that you can completely write off because there's like what works really works.
Yeah.
But some shit is just so wildly unforgivable in regards to like making a movie in modern day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just what's going on? Mm-hmm. Like that's what frustrated me. Like mediocre movies sometimes upset you more because they are so fucking close and it's not there. So like I think I didn't realize, like I've really liked Robert Pattinson and a bunch of other stuff, and I never got this part of it. I found him so incredibly charming. I liked him a lot. I like Edward a lot.
The sunglasses scene coming out of the car when he like
Dude.
opens the car door for her and he puts his arm around her for the first time.
I get it.
Still. I'm like,
that critic that was talking about the 14-year-old girl and everyone, I get it.
Yeah.
The 14-year-old girl in me thinks would totally fall for Robert Pattinson because he was incredibly charming in this movie.
And his hair is so ridiculous.
Wildly ridiculous.
I
His
love
eyes
it.
are stupid ridiculous.
Yeah.
And everything he does, which I'm sure was direction, is just broad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if he smells something he doesn't like, it's like like it's almost it's like to the edge slapsticky, but he just crushes it. Yeah. And I think everything kind of cascades from there because even the stuff where Bella is a little cringy, everyone else is kind of doing the heavy lifting around her. Like the plot happens to Bella.
yeah.
She is almost not a driver of anything. Like she makes a choice to keep going forward with him, but everything is just by existence of her being in a space. She doesn't like the only choice that she makes is to date a vampire that she's enamored with, but everything else is kind of like she's a victim of, right? Like the other tribe, the move, like it just keeps happening to her.
I mean, I don't know if I can hold that against her because she is a teenage girl.
I'm not holding.
And also it's like 100-year-old vampires are like protecting her. So
I don't hold that against her, but it makes her uninteresting as a participant in the story.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not saying like she doesn't do anything. She's like, it's not even about like she's the most uninteresting part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But
The
she's
main
our
character.
She's our focal point. So
Yeah.
it's very it's like a weird balance that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I think the Cullens, what are they called? The
The Olympic Coven.
They're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're straight
What
fire.
a fun family. Also that house.
You have to be independently wealthy if you're a gajillion years old, I assume. Yeah, like you better have wealth.
It's implied they're involved in some insider trading because Alice can tell the future.
Oh.
Whatever it is, if you're that old or have that much like forethought or time and you're not rich, you're just
failing
stupid.
at being
Like
a
Red Coat.
vampire.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
The comic Red Coat.
Carlisle is 400 years old. He became a vampire in the 1600s.
He's awesome.
And so, like, if he's not rich, like, yeah, there's a problem.
Timu Tom Cruise. Yeah, he's good.
The dinner scene was my favorite. It like immediately made me like love all of them. The fact that they were going out of their way for Bella, and then 2 teenagers just screw it up by inadvertently spitting on the gesture. Like I love all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is a well-directed movie at all. When you had mentioned that the end sequence fight scene was filmed first, well then why is every other wire work action scene so fucking bad?
Yeah.
Right.
Because if that's the first thing that they filmed to establish how they're going to like film speed, wire work, motion, and action, why does the rest of the movie look like absolute shit? Like like that last sequence is almost masterful, the way that they don't show you things and cut away and like just reaction shots and establishing shots. But then every other time it's like, like full frame, seeing somebody defy gravity.
That's all
It
I
was
see
so
is
bad.
That long shot, that wide shot of them going up the mountain
When
and
he
just
just pulls around.
It's
his
the
back.
equivalent of me like just doing this with my legs and
Yeah.
going forward. It was so bad.
Yeah.
I almost
and it
thought
gets worse.
I almost thought like, oh, they figured it out by the end of the movie.
Nope.
No, that was first.
They forgot it.
It like every time I feel bad every time the movie started to really grab me, something just ripped me right out.
Yeah.
And it almost exclusively was a choice by the director. Almost every time. Like, don't show, like, pull 2 seconds away from that. Go closer there. Like every time that you started to really like get enamored with the people, some sort of weird, clunky artifice just smacked you in the face to remind you you're watching a movie. And it just repeated that over and over again.
I'm very excited for you to watch New Moon.
We watched the trailer for New Moon, and I'm like, that looks like a
movie.
fucking movie.
I'm excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
Really want to try to make New Moon a movie night because I
I'm
want to be
nice.
there for when
I-
you watch it. I
I
want to
truly-
see. It's my favorite of the movies.
Awesome.
It's not even my favorite of the books, but it's my favorite of the movies. I just think it's a really beautiful movie.
Nice.
Like beautifully shot. Like there's a
I-
lot of really cool scenes.
I found myself after watching the movie, and I guess I was expecting to not like it. I mean, of course, I was expecting to not like it. And I found myself just like finding the mid. I really, really agree with Roger Ebert. It's like it's in the mid. Like, this is not necessarily for me, but everyone around me, I could feel them just like being drawn into it, and I respect the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep wishing that it was better. Like it could have
Yes.
been like yeah, like you were saying, the decision. Oh my God, that scene with the I'm catching
They
an
do
apple.
want it. So there's a scene in the movie for anybody who hasn't seen it where Bella's making her lunch and she drops an apple and Edward catches it, kicks it up and catches it just like this on the cover of the book. There is a scene in every movie that mimics the cover of each book.
Okay.
I hate.
The next
cute
one
by
is
half.
really cool. The next one,
Perfect use of that phrase.
the next one is.
I get
cool.
what you're doing, but
Yeah.
too cute.
Yeah. What did
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah. So did you even like this?
I hate it. No. So I kind of explained my journey with finding Twilight. So summer of 2008 is when I first read this, read it in 3 days, and I immediately gave it to my cousin, who's also one of my best friends, Jordan. And she read it also in like 3 days, and we became mutually obsessed. She's the same age as me, so we were both 15. We were 15 emo kids that were just obsessed with this book, to the point where we knew it was coming out in November. And she lived a few hours away from like, my family has a house upstate New York, and she lived in that area full time, and I was still on Long Island, to the point where I convinced my family to change our Thanksgiving plans to be upstate so that I could go with Jordan the day after Thanksgiving to see this movie.
Your
love that.
parents are the best.
Literally,
awesome.
Yeah.
my parents are the best.
Oh,
And every movie after that, my parents made sure I was upstate to see it with Jordan. My dad drove me up by himself one time. Like, we just went up for a
That's so
weekend so that I could
cute.
see New Moon with Jordan. And my dad went and saw a different movie.
It was nice.
But-
He actually drove us to go hang out with our friend
Yeah.
Becky to see the midnight
He
showing.
actually, it was really funny. He made a joke when I told him, like, I was on the phone before we did our movie night, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to my friend's house, we're gonna watch Twilight. And he's like, oh my God, he's like, if they really don't want to do it, they can just do what I did. They can go in another room and watch Paul Blart Mall Cop, because that's the movie he went to go see. Paul Blart with my little sister
awesome.
while I I was seeing New Moon or something.
I thought he was going to offer to drive you over to my place.
I'll come get you.
I'll come drive you over your friend's house.
No. Yeah. So I loved these books, loved these movies. Kind of dipped out when I was in college because I realized there's a lot of problematic things in them, and I kind of became more aware of them as I became an adult. And then 2020 happened. We were locked inside.
Yeah.
Pandemic, and they dropped all the movies on Netflix. And I was like, me and a bunch of other millennials were like, you know what? Let's regress to our teenage years and comfort movies and rewatch these. And I watched them with fresh eyes, seeing how crazy and ridiculous they were. And I still loved them. Yeah. Because it made me forget about all the chaos that was happening in the world. It made me feel like I was 14 again or 15 again. And then also in 2020, she released Midnight Sun. I immediately went out and bought it. And again, read it. And I was just sucked right back in. And I found different podcasts that I listened to about Twilight, and every person that I've interacted with who has genuine, well-thought criticisms of this book are fans of the book. People who hate on it from the outside that have never read it.
I mean, that's everybody. That's universal.
But people, like, I've had conversations with people where they're like, oh, you like Twilight? It's so dumb. And I'm like, why do you think it's dumb, though? And they're, I don't know, I've never read it. And I'm like, then you can't sit here and tell me it's dumb. I can tell you why it's dumb because I've read it multiple times and I've seen all the movies. But
there are things that don't age well and you age out of, though.
Yeah.
And this doesn't feel like that. This is... there was something that I was thinking, like walking here, there was something I was thinking about, too. The idea of, I guess just as like a, straight white young male, there were so many things available to me when I was 13, 14 that are cringe and bad now. But it captured me in a moment and specifically is mine. And it just kind of clicked that, like, that's what this is. This is, 13 to 22-year-old women who just want romance and genre that what didn't exist before or did exist in different formats that just weren't accessible. And this just kind of captured that. So why hate on it?
I don't like yucking other people's yums.
But meet it where it is basically what I'm trying to get at. Like, I know what this is and I'm going to try and meet it there. And because of that, I have no issues with the story itself. It's just how they put it together.
The broad beats of the story work, I think, for me.
Yeah.
It's just the directing and some of the acting. Yeah.
And the acting, I think I could fall on the director.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, that Kristen Stewart can act.
Well, I know she can now.
No. There's scenes in this movie. Basically, every scene that she's on the phone with her mother, she comes alive.
Yeah.
But when she's with, like, acting against the Cullens and stuff, she's pulled back. And if that's a choice of hers, great. But it's something that during production, they should have, like, hey, it's coming off like this. Or just like, hey, we'll cut around like this. Like, I don't put it on her. Knowing too what she was able to not get out of, like, other pieces of the movie, I'm like, I don't know if it's Kristen Stewart. I think it's Catherine.
I just think I don't know who. I think I don't jibe with the way she acts insecure.
I don't think. Yeah. Okay.
There are people who can do awkward and insecure, and it feels like they just showed up on set and they are an awkward and insecure person. Every time she was acting that way, I felt her acting, as opposed to being like, oh, she's really in it,
Dope.
Yeah. Good. Sorry. Oh, yes.
Just more of how I felt about this in 2008. This is before I saw the movie. This is a long-winded thing. I'm not going to sit here and read it to you. I'm trying to pick and
Can we take turns reading it?
Please. This is like reading my diary on a fucking podcast right now.
Since we don't have a book...
Proving I got 100. I'm covering my name and the name of the school I went to.
Since we don't have a book report for every movie for the next one, I would like pick your favorite scene and then we do a reading of it.
Okay. All right. I will pick this one to read through. Describe the conflict/controversy of this book.
Oh.
One conflict in this novel is Edward versus his animalistic vampire instincts. I know. It's so bad, guys.
No. I saw Pink's comment.
Oh, yeah.
Pink says, Twilight versus Paul Blart is an unanswerable gun-to-head choice. Bravo, Pink.
That was great.
Honestly, you know what the answer is? Twilight.
Yeah.
Damn.
The answer is Twilight.
Damn.
Put the gun down.
Put the gun down.
Down.
Put the gun down. The answer is Twilight.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Continue.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Start over.
All right. One conflict in this novel is Edward versus his animalistic vampire instincts.
Yeah.
Throughout Edward's long and never-ending life, he has always fought against his own instincts and avoided what he craves most, human blood, in case you didn't realize.
Oh.
When he meets Bella, he finds that the scent of her blood is more alluring than any other human's. When he starts getting to know her, he quickly falls in love with her. Therefore, he must battle with himself and try to remain tame, which I crossed out. I must have misspelled tame. In order to protect the one girl he truly loves. This conflict also expresses his true love for Bella because every moment he spends with her is painful because he craves her blood, but he's willing to deal with it just to enjoy her company.
Oh.
Edward.
You know, if I might.
This is...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just
No,
want to say this
please.
is ballsy of me. There was a typo in the question, and I crossed it out and corrected the
Whoa.
teacher.
That's why you got 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
What would you may?
Oh, if I may, one of the things I really do like about the story itself is the idea of vampires and how they're presented in the world of Twilight and how they're not like Count Orlok. They like the shiny skin, which gets made fun of ad nauseum, like it's a running joke and has been for almost 20 years, right? The glitter skin is the fact that they are a predator, a natural predator. And everything about them is to lure in victims.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm shiny as hell because I'm
Look at
pretty.
how alluring
They're-
I look right
right?
now with this glitter.
They're cuttlefish. I thought that was
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just really like that. You don't get that a lot. And vampires a lot, or monsters. And it kind of reminds me of It. Pennywise's It, right? You've got, as much as I love that actor's portrayal of Pennywise in the more recent It films, he's in a sewer and he looks like a monster, you know, and the way he talks and the eyes and everything is very creepy. And there's no way a kid would go near a sewer grate with that dude in there, as opposed to, I think, Tim Curry in the first film. You would approach Tim Curry in a
I wouldn't, but
in a clown costume more so than the remake, I would
That's a
think.
gun to head choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hey, there's a fucking clown in a sewer that's saying, "Come over here." How about don't?
How about now?
How about no?
But I like that Stephanie Meyer gave that thought to how a vampire might actually
Yeah,
work
that's
in
really cool.
nature. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's another one of the reasons why she didn't want to give him fangs,
Yeah.
just to blend in better and have nice smiles. And
I have a real time pitch for the rating.
Oh, the rating scale?
Yeah, it should be marble chiseled abs. How many
Oh,
marble chiseled
like
abs?
8-pack or like how?
Yeah,
how
well, I
many
mean, we have to do
Batman's got a 9-pack.
5 or
In Lego Batman.
Lego Batman.
He's got an extra ab.
Got an extra ab.
or just something like something marble skinned or
Okay.
shiny something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick a different part to read.
I didn't
just all
didn't
crazy.
dislike this.
What's
Alright,
that?
The
didn't dislike this.
how was the conflict resolved?
How was it? 'Cause-
It's
oh, I
never
saw
really
it.
resolved. I copped out of this answer. But is made better when Bella is attacked by another vampire named James. James bites Bella, and in order to save her, Edward must suck out the venom. Edward is very hesitant because he is unsure if he will be able to maintain his self-control once he tastes Bella's blood. To his own disbelief, he remains in control and does not give in to his vampire instincts. It is then that Edward realizes his love for Bella is stronger than anything, even his craving for her blood.
I did love the last line of this movie. Is not a full happy life with me enough? Mm-hmm. I'm like, it should be, bitch. How dare you? It should be. Because
Forever.
I mean, she just went through a big ordeal.
no, I know, but like knowing the full scope of it, like I am so team Edward right now.
Yeah.
I'm so team Edward coded right now. The way that he answers that question and like the fear in his voice of it all too. It's like, you're gonna put him through hell, aren't you?
I can't wait.
You're gonna put him through hell.
Can't wait for the next one to be
Because
Team
him
Edward versus
promising you
Jacob.
everything you have is not going to be enough, and it bothers me. It just bothers me now. And before
Yeah,
you
if
know
I
it,
was
girl.
if I was attacked by a vampire and also my family was threatened, you know, I think I would want to be a vampire
Yeah.
too.
No, we talked about this after the movie. I'd never want to be a vampire. I don't think that's like.
To protect your family? If you're getting involved, if Sam was a vampire and you were getting involved with Sam and you were constantly under threat by other vampires, wouldn't you want to be able to protect her?
But the other person in the couple is a vampire?
Yeah.
They got it.
Sam's got this.
All right.
Yeah, no, I mean, they literally just went through a thing where they came together as a family and took care of it for her, and everyone's fine.
And she almost died.
Wait, did you see Sam's comment about writing a song? Bella, you are Stella, and you give me one hell of a smella. Sam, that is poetry.
That's the rating. How many smellas?
How many smellas?
How many Bella smellas?
Is that good or bad, though? Do you want to give it smells?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to talk about the host and how it's superior to all?
I'm not going to get into that.
Stephanie Meyer podcast.
But
this is just Twilight.
Speaking
host
of
is different books.
I do want to get back into a few more things before we close out. I know I've made this episode really long.
All
right.
Oh my God.
So there is actually in Forks, Washington, there is a Twilight Festival that happens every year in September around Bella's birthday. Bella's birthday is September 13th.
Okay.
So this year, it'll be September 11th to the 14th, and the festival includes movie marathons, cosplaying, a grand bazaar where vendors can sell Twilight-themed crafts and merch, meet and greets with some of the cast, like Jackson Rathbone, and Kellen Lutz will be there this coming September.
Is he going to sign pictures of him doing this?
Probably. And probably a ton of people will bring photos of. He's gotten so many memes about that.
That's his whole thing.
It is. And the last thing I want to get.
That does this.
Yeah, his crazy hair that might be a wig in this one. He gets some bad wigs later on. The thing I wanted to get into, which Christopher Goodnight brought up in the chat, is the book Life and Death, which is the gender-swapped version of Twilight that Meyer wrote when she got criticism about Twilight being sexist and having these designated gender roles and Bella being a damsel in distress all the time. Yeah. And her argument was the story would be exactly the same if the roles were reversed. So just wait, it gets worse. She rewrote the book. She claimed it was the same exact way. I'm going to spoil Life and Death, by the way. So if you don't want this book spoiled for you, cover your ears.
I like the idea of her just going into her Word doc and find
word,
replace Bella.
Literally. No, because she just changes. So Edward becomes Edith Cullen.
Ew.
Bella becomes Beau.
Ew.
Carlisle becomes Corrine. Alice becomes Archie. Rosalie becomes Royal. Jasper becomes Jessamine. Emmett becomes Eleanor. James becomes Joss. Victoria becomes Victor. I know, Joss is a crazy name. Jacob becomes Julie, and Billy Black becomes Bonnie. Charlie stays Charlie, and like Beau's parents stay who's Bella's parents are.
Charlie is constant.
Yeah. Charlie is a constant.
Charlie is
in the multiverse
of
yes.
Only Charlie is constant.
Charlie exists in all forms.
This book I also read this in 2020 because I was craving dopamine.
What else are you gonna do?
I was craving dopamine, and I wanted I was like, oh, there's more Twilight books. Let me read it and see if it gives me joy. And the point of this book, she explains in an introduction that she was proving a point, that it wasn't sexist, that the story would be exactly the same. So she says this is the same exact story, just with the gender swapped characters. So that if a strong woman could save the man, and it's the same thing. But she changes the ending. So she lies in the intro. She kills Beau. Edith is unable to save Beau. She doesn't get there in time.
What?
And Beau dies, and they let him go through the whole vampire process. He turns into a vampire and joins the Cullen family. They fake his death instead of faking an accident. Like they said, like Bella fell through a window and broke her leg. No, they fake a car crash and get a different dead body, put it in the car crash, and Beau watches from a tree while Charlie and Renee bury a different dead person in his grave. And then she has this epilogue, was like, yeah, I changed the ending because I always wanted to see what Twilight would be like if Bella or Beau died. And I was like, but now you just made a story where you gender swapped the characters and the woman failed.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Why not just rewrite a new ending of the book that existed?
Yeah.
Right.
So this is why there aren't sequels.
It's
because
like,
she ends the book.
I'm going to prove this point about how women are useless.
Wow.
That's so stupid.
Has there been like a response to this?
So I don't know. I didn't like this took me out of my Twilight 2020 phase because I was like, oh, what did I just read? Because there is another Twilight mini book that is actually supposed to be very good that I haven't read. that ties in with the third one. It ties in with the eclipse story. What?
You there? In the
Mini
front.
book.
Sorry, it's like a very short book. Yeah, like
A novella?
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was.
That was just my.
I didn't know if it was a
It's
classification.
but that big.
Yeah, no,
exact
I
same
didn't.
book.
I didn't know.
No.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I just didn't know if that was a
I said it badly.
classification.
Yeah.
What
yes.
mini book?
No, it was a mini book. No,
Does
it's like
it
a
have
small,
pictures?
short book. Because Life and Death was kind of short too. It was a quick read, and the other book is called The Short Life of Bree Tanner, who is a different vampire that you meet in Eclipse, who was like
That's so
important.
tone deaf.
It's so
love it.
upsetting. It's so upsetting.
And which
I
was that? That's Life and Death?
Life and Death. And I was more mad that she starts it with this like intro. I was like, this is the same exact story. And it's
Yeah, I feel like if I
right. And then she
just wouldn't add that.
changed the ending.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have the same? It's kind of got the same vibes as like a high school athlete
Mm-hmm.
who wants to like recapture their glory and try out for a professional team. Like it's cringe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's
it
like
was-
like trying to like maintain relevancy in the most cringy way.
Yeah.
Edith and Archie. Jesus, is it the 40s? Asked Pink.
Amazing. Yeah, I know. And I like Victoria gets to become Victor, but she couldn't make Alice like Alexander. It had to be Archie. It had to be.
I hate this.
Yeah, it's not great. I wish I didn't read. Actually, I'm kind of glad I read it. But
Edith and Bo.
Edith and Bo, they end up together forever because he becomes a vampire.
Do you guys hope that there will one day be a remake?
No.
A film? No? You're good?
I mean,
Never
if they
touch
do
it?
it, I'm still going to see it. But
Yeah.
I like it where it is.
I mean, it depends on who's making it.
David Fincher.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There
Darren
might be
Aronofsky.
an animated series coming
honestly,
out about Midnight Sun.
I am
Wait.
so not precious about anything.
Now, yeah.
It
Remake it all, baby.
It always depends on the creative team.
Clearly
always.
not either.
What did you just say?
There is allegedly going to be an animated series of Midnight Sun on Netflix.
Huh.
Yeah.
Animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not Life and Death. That's Edward's point of view of this story.
For some reason in my head it was animated like the Scott Pilgrim animated show.
Now it's probably going to be like a anime that looks hazy, like all anime.
Anime that looks hazy. I see. Anything else?
We got to do ratings.
Or ratings.
Oh yeah, ratings.
And
How
then-
many
and then we
how
crock
many
out.
marble chiseled abs?
or how many Bella Smellas? I don't know.
How many Bella Smellas?
And they're good.
Good
the
good
smell
smells.
is a
Good
Yeah,
smells.
because he's like, "Ugh."
He's like, I can't handle how much I love you.
Good smells. This is just my nostalgia getting in the way.
Oh,
but
out
I
of how
think
many? Are we doing
Five?
5 or 4?
Five smells.
Five.
Five smells. We'll do 5 smells. I will give it. I like instinctively. I just want to give it 5 because I do love it so much. But I do like New Moon better, so I'm gonna give it like a 4. 4 smells.
I was gonna guess 4.5.
I'm gonna give it 4.
I'm gonna give it 2.5 Smellas.
That's valid.
This is rough. I'm deciding whether I want to grade it on a curve because I didn't expect to at all enjoy it, let alone just like it. 2.75.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I it's like a little above mid.
Yeah.
Like there is absolute worth here. There's absolute value from just somebody who doesn't care at all, right? So that's better than half.
Gotcha.
2.75.
To me, it's perfectly mid.
You know what?
To me,
you
I
know
understand it, but I
that
just
you know what that 0.25 is? Fucking Robert Pattinson.
Oh, I see.
he's
Gotcha.
yeah.
He notches that. I haven't seen anything with him in it that he doesn't elevate.
I want them to remake this movie with all the same actors now.
In bad wigs.
Yeah. Worse wigs. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see what's her nuts? Kristen Stewart.
She'll do it the same way.
Do it better.
No, she'll
Do it better now.
Do it better. All right.
Yeah.
We did it. We do
I
it?
think we did it. Thank you for sticking with us
This
through
was
our journey through
impressive.
Forks. Our first journey through Forks. We'll take you back another time.
Yeah, I don't know when.
What's next week?
Captain America?
New World Order. Right?
Captain America.
Brave New World.
Brave New World. That's what I said.
New World Order.
What's New World Order? Isn't there a movie?
The original title.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Brave New World. All right. Fresh Floppies came out this morning. It was Wednesday. We reviewed comic books that came out today, but without spoilers. So listen to that on iTunes and other places. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you for joining us tonight,
Yeah.
guys. This was fun. We're going to do all the movies eventually
you.
throughout the summer.
For indulging me.
This wasn't an indulgence.
This was
I had a
fun.
good time.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I'm actually actively excited to watch number 2.
You're acting like we're doing you a favor, and this is you doing us a favor.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
I've been sitting here staring at this going, do I want to reread the Twilight books?
You don't.
You can if you want. You can borrow that.
Just listen to them. Listen to the new
You
ones.
listen to it.
How are the have you listened to the audiobooks?
No, I haven't.
Is the spider monkey in here?
I don't think it is. I
that
think that was a
Spider
movie.
Monkey?
Hold
added.
tongues. Hold tight, spider
It's
monkey.
not the line. It's the immediate cut to.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and
Talk at you later.
do 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 do. Skeetily